YouTubies, it's Lord Ision. Well, I'm out. It's a beautiful day. I think spring's edging just a little closer to us. Our sun lord is shining down, and isn't he looking beautiful? Hail to the sun lord. Hail. Yay. Well, I'm glad you guys are here. So we got a lot to talk about today. But the first most important thing is PsychicBob needs to get a little lunch, because I've been doing readings all morning. Thank you to all who've been calling for private readings. Had such a great time connecting with all of you. So if you want to get on my schedule for a private reading, give me a call at my office, 703-825-3929, or visit my website, PsychicBob.com. That link will be below, and you can get on my schedule for a private reading. I'd love to hear from you guys. As many of you know, I'm very drawn to the Greco-Roman pantheon. I honor Isis in her Greco-Roman aspect. She was worshipped throughout Greece and Rome. And I also honor Lord Dionysus. So Lord Dionysus is my lord, and Lady Isis is my goddess. And we're going to talk more about that next week. But today I thought we'd just pause and visit the Great Stone Mother and ask her blessing on a special new charm that I got. Here we are at the shrine of the Holy Stone Mother. The ancient pagans saw in the sign of holy stones signs of the goddess. The Holy Stone Mother is Gaia in Greek. She was the Earth Mother, and so you could call this Gaia, a form of Gaia as well. So here we are. So let's just pause and do a little invocation, shall we? Gracious Stone Mother, we thank you for your blessed presence here. We ask that all my YouTubers receive your blessing. May they find grounding, nourishment, and healing in their lives. So mote it be. As I mentioned just a few minutes ago, one of my deities is Lord Dionysus. And Lord Dionysus is thought of as the god of the vine, a god of vegetation, but he's also god of the theater. And as somebody who loves theater and does performing arts, I worship Lord Dionysus. And in the old days, one of the offerings to Lord Dionysus were theater masks. Many of you have done theater. You know the famous masks, the comedy and tragedy masks. Well, those come from the ancient Greek theater. And so I wear Greek theater masks many times as a sign of my devotion to Lord Dionysus, because the masks represent him as god of theater. I just got a new treasure that I got to show you, so check this out. I just got yesterday this vintage pendant. It's done in silver. I think it's actually silver plate, but it's the theater masks, comedy and tragedy. But what's interesting is if you look behind the mask, I hope you can see it here, the detail may not be as clear, there are three women holding the masks. These are known as the three muses. They were ancient goddesses who brought inspiration. They inspired people to create drama, to write poetry, to do art, to do music. So the three muses were goddesses of creativity and very ancient. And they're also associated with Lord Dionysus. So when I first bought this pendant, I saw the theater mask, and it was being sold. I bought it on eBay. It was being sold as a theater mask pendant. But then I realized, oh my gosh, there are women here. So I found out, who are these three women? It's the three muses. So I wanted to bring that today just to share you. And here we are at the Stone Mother, and I thought we'd just offer it here as the three muses are goddesses, and we want to invoke goddess energy. So I say here to bless this pendant. Great Goddess, Earth Mother, thank you for the gift of material things that bless our lives. Thank you for the silver pendant. I invoke you, Mother, as the great goddess and the influence of the ancient mother goddesses of the three muses. And I ask that you put your blessing now upon this pendant. Here this pentacle I lay for blessing and protection by night, by day. So mote it be. So mote it be. And now I have a wonderful pendant that I can wear of the theater masses for Lord Dionysus and the three muses. So see, I'm covering all the gods today. Next week we'll do a video on the three muses, but right now I wanted to show you the triple trees here. These three trees are the father, son, and sage trees. There are 3 trees that grow together in a triangle. And I've always felt that right here in between the trees, this is a little fairy ring. So this is a place we can bring offerings to. And now that it's getting warmer, we'll be able to come out here and we'll do some offerings to the faith soon as well. So we got a number of things we'll be working on. So next week we'll talk about the 3 muses and the triple goddess aspect in Wicca. Let's go get some food for right now though. Let's do that first. And look, there's Mr. Crow today. Sitting there. Hi, Mr. Crow. Caw, caw, caw. Caw, caw, caw. Are you going to talk to me? Good morning. He's being shy. There he is. Can you say that again? Caw, caw, caw. Good to see you, Mr. Crow. Bye. I love the crows. They're my friends. They're my guardians as well. Well, Tubies, here I am, safely ensconced in my booth. I got my cold Coke, and life is good, waiting for some good lunch to come. For those of you who may have been away the last few days, I got to show you something that I got. PsychicBob got a brand new case for his iPhone. Isn't this cool? It's sparkling like diamonds. I said, you know what? If I'm going to buy me a good iPhone, spend all that money, it's got to look good too. So I bought it the best outfit that it could have. Clothing in diamonds. Bling bling. I want to say thank you to all of you who've been following me over on Instagram. I'm doing posts over there that are exclusive to Instagram. You won't see everything here on YouTube because I'm putting up photos and different things. I found out I'm going to be able to do live feeds from Instagram. So I think next week we're going to try to do a live event on Instagram. It'll be something different than we normally do. Anyways, as I work that out, I'll let you know. But if you want to go over and follow me on Instagram, there's my name, Psychic Bob, all one word. I don't know if it's short. PSYCHICBOB, and there I am, Psychic Bob. So come follow me. So today we're going to talk about a mystical icon that I love. As many of you know, I love Mother Mary, and I have a treasured image of her that I like to work with. It's called Our Lady of Perpetual Help. And look what I just happened to have with me today. I brought my icon of Our Lady of Perpetual Help to show you guys. Now, this is a copy of the original. It's not the original, but it looks just like the original. The original's in Rome. But this is a miraculous image. An icon is considered a sacred image. And it's not just a piece of art. It's actually considered a tool of spirituality. If you will, a window into the spiritual realms, a window into heaven. So I thought we'd talk about Our Lady of Perpetual Help today. So hang with us. Oh, Tubies, we're going to put Our Lady of Perpetual Help on hold just for a few minutes because look what just arrived. PsychicBob's lunch. Oh my gosh. They got a wonderful sandwich. I don't know what it is, but it's like spinach and corned beef and something. And then bacon potato soup. Ooh, it's looking good. And they brought me a fresh cold Coke. I love it. Ah, this potato soup is heavenly. With cheese all over. So Tubies, I wanted to give you a little tour of this icon because to understand it, you need to understand the symbolism of it. So in the middle we have Mother Mary, and that's, you can see she's draped in a beautiful blue robe. This image is done in the Byzantine style. This is how people in the Byzantine period would dress. And we know that Mary is dressed in the robes of an empress because she's wearing red and blue, which were the royal colors. So I think her red robe signifies motherhood and the blue represents royalty. I might have that reversed. I forget Byzantine iconography, sometimes it's a little complex. But you'll notice that she's sitting here facing us, and she's holding Jesus in her arms, and there are two angels here. There's a whole story behind this icon. So basically, the story is that one day Jesus was out playing, and the angels came to him to tell him to prepare for his future, which would be to face the cross and the passion that he would endure in his life of suffering. And supposedly Jesus, even though he was a divine being, he has two natures according to the Catholic and Orthodox churches. He's divine and he's human. As a human person, it startled him and he became afraid. And he ran to his mother, who scooped her up in his arms and comforted him. And so she became known as our Mother of Perpetual Help, because she's always helping people in need. They run to her. She scoops them up in their arms. So she scooped up Jesus. Jesus was in such a hurry that he ran, and you can't really see it in this one. It's going to cut off, but his sandal is falling off. And so the sandal falling off represents how quick he rushed to his mother and how quickly she grabbed him. And you'll notice here, so the angel, I forget which one. This is Gabriel, and this is Michael. And so Michael brought the spear that would pierce Jesus' side and the sponge with the bitter wine that he drank on the cross. And then Gabriel brought the cross and then the nails. It's hard to see here, but there are 4 nails down here. And so they tried to prepare Jesus for his future, saying that, through going through this ordeal, you would elevate the whole world and, be a salvation for mankind and open the way. So Jesus, though, at that time was confused by it and scared, so he ran to Mother Mary. Now, one wonderful thing about Mary is, if you notice, her face is gazing out at us. This icon is unique because Mary is looking to us. And what she's saying is, come to me and I will help you. If you are fearful, if you're alone, if you have troubles, I will help you. And this icon is unique because whichever direction you look at it, her eyes follow you. I don't know if you can see this in a camera, but in person, wherever you go, this icon, the eyes follow you. So it's a really unique feature of this icon that you don't often see in many icons. On Mary's veil, there's a star up here. And one of her titles is Star of the Sea. And Star of the Sea means that in the darkness you'll find the light, and she'll guide you to a safe harbor. And so in our time of need, we can turn to Mother Mary, and her veil carries the star of light. Above her are crowns, and above Jesus are crowns. These were later additions during the Victorian era. The Victorians could never have anything simple. And these crowns were added as signs of honor. They were actually made out of like gold leaf and then laid in on the icon. The icon today has since been restored. The crowns have been removed to restore the icon to its original, but the crowns are in most of the images since the 1800s, and even today most images get it. So it's common in the Catholic Church that Mother Mary is crowned and Jesus' images are crowned to show their sovereignty, their power, their majesty. And Mary looks there very majestic. So up here in the left is the initials for Mary, and over here are the initials for Theotokos, which means God-bearer. So it means Mother Mary is the bearer of God. And then down here are the initials in Greek. These are all in Greek, by the way, for Jesus Christ, Ichthyes. And then above the angels, there's Gabriel and Michael's initials. So the icon identifies who's all in the picture. Now you'll notice the background is golden, and it represents eternity. In the Orthodox Church and the Eastern Catholic churches, they paint icons in gold because they're so precious, and they oftentimes use golden backgrounds to represent heaven and eternity. So there's a little tour of Our Lady of Perpetual Help icon. Now this icon is considered to be a miraculous icon, that wherever it is displayed, miracles are known to happen. And it's such a powerful image that even copies of the image carry power with them. I think that sounds pretty magical. But there's a whole story about this icon, which I'll tell you now. So basically, this icon was stolen by a sailor from Greece, or actually it was Crete, in the 1300s. This sailor was traveling through Crete and saw this icon in a church. He was so mesmerized by it that he had to have it. And he literally stole it from the church when nobody was looking. Of course, nowadays with cameras everywhere, nobody could do this. But back in those days, 1300s, he was able to steal it. And he brought the icon back to Italy with him. He took it all the way across the sea and brought it home. Well, he kept it hidden in his house for a number of years. And Mary appeared to him and said, "Will you return my icon to the church? I want to reside in the church again." And the sailor knew that he was getting older and getting ill, and he felt his end was near. He said, "Yes, mother, I promise I'll return the icon." Well, the sailor ended up dying before he could return the icon, and a neighbor came to help settle his estate. And the neighbor was a woman who lived next door to him, and she took the icon out of her house and brought it into her house. She said, "Well, I'm going to keep this icon. It's beautiful." Right before, by the way, I should back up, right before the man died, he told the lady the whole story about Mary appearing to him, and she wanted the icon returned to the church. That she actually said he didn't have to take it back to Greece, that he could take it to a church in Rome, and she gave him directions where to take it. So on his deathbed, he told the neighbor lady next door, he said, "Will you please help me fulfill Mary's wishes and take the icon to the church?" So they said, sure. Well, anyways, the guy died, and she inherited the icon. But instead of taking it to the church, she said, "It's so beautiful. I want to keep this icon in my house and pray to Jesus and Mary every day." So she did that. Well, her daughter, she had a young girl about like 8 years old. Virgin Mary appeared looking just like this image, but she appeared in three-dimensional form and told her, she said, "Tell your mother that the Virgin Mary has come and that I wish my icon to be returned as I have asked to the church." The little girl was so shocked. She went and told her mother. She said, "Oh my gosh, Mary appeared to me and she wants the icon returned." Well, the mother didn't believe it. She thought her daughter was just hallucinating or dreaming and ignored the request. Well, then about a week later, Mother Mary appeared to the mother as well and said, "Will you please honor me? I want this icon to be seen where many people can have my presence rather than just your family." And the lady was so shocked, and she knew then that her daughter had truly seen Mary, for she herself had seen Mary. And the lady took the icon and returned it to the Catholic Church, and it went to a church in Rome. I can't remember the name of the church. Well, anyways, these days it's housed in a church called St. Alphonsus, and you can actually go to Rome and still see the original icon that is housed there. There's a little more to the story, but that's kind of the short version. So it has a long history, and it's been in Rome since the 1300s. So it's a miraculous image, and I have a great love for this icon. I keep copies. I have a few copies in my house. And in fact, when we go home, I'm going to show you another one of my icons. So hang with us. Tubies, that was a great lunch. I'm outside now. Our sun lord is shining down. He's moving towards the west, but our days are definitely getting longer as we're heading into spring. So let's go on home. We're going to continue talking about Our Lady of Perpetual Help. So hang with us. Hey Tubies, it's Lord Ision. Well, I'm back home. It is so beautiful outside. I think I'm going to go back out after this video is done, but I'm home for the moment. So here is the little icon I showed you. This is about an 8 by 10 size image of Our Lady of Perpetual Help. I have to tell you, I love Our Lady of Perpetual Help. I've been praying to her for years, and I also tend to kind of collect images of her. So I got another thing to show you, so get ready for this, all right? So get ready. All right, so we're going to move aside our beautiful icon of Our Lady of Perpetual Help. Don't you just love her face? Isn't she beautiful? Look at her gentle hands holding us. You know, many people say that when you see the Christ child, you could also say that could be you that Mary's holding. All right, so we're going to set that aside just for a moment here, because we're going to turn back here. What could be veiled under this mystical purple cloth? Let us find out. And behold, a giant mystical lady of perpetual help. How do you guys like that? Now this is a giant-sized icon that I have. Let me move this out of the way. It's literally 2 feet by 3 feet. Isn't that wonderful? Now there's my little one next to it. That's the one I showed you earlier. As I said, I collect copies of Our Lady of Perpetual Help. So there's the little one. Now you can see the big one. What do you think of that? I keep her enshrined in my home. I just love Our Lady of Perpetual Help. And if you want to work with her, she accepts the prayers of anybody. You don't even have to be Catholic. You can be Wiccan like I am, or Spiritualist, or any religion, and she'll help you. She's just that sort of person. Let's just zoom in. Look at a beautiful face. You can see as you move around, her eyes stay with you. So I just love her. And you'll notice the fine detail. This print was rather expensive. It actually is inlaid with real gold. It's hard to see. It looks silver on camera, but this actually, if you guys can see it, real gold that's inlaid on this icon. This was a very expensive icon for me. But look at the beautiful bluish green kind of turquoise robe. You can see down here some of the detail in the robes. But yeah, I bought this icon. It's about 10 years ago I've had it. But it's a large size Perpetual Help. And I'll tell you a little bit about my history with Our Lady of Perpetual Help. So, as many of you know, I was a Catholic before I became a Spiritualist. Back in the 1980s, when I actually joined the Catholic Church. I didn't grow up with any religion, but I joined the Catholic Church because I felt at the time it was the only church that made sense to me, because when I studied the lives of the saints, they had a lot of psychics and mystics among them. So I thought that church is really cool. So anyways, I love the church. I still love a lot about the Catholic Church. I don't like everything, of course, but we won't get into that. But the one thing that I've always loved is our Mother Mary, and she's always been a protector and a guide for me. Well, anyways, I was going to this Catholic church near my home at the time, and one of the ladies in the congregation said, "Oh, are you going to come to the Tuesday night novena?" I said, "What's a novena?" This is a special prayer that's done every week, and we're going to have it on Tuesday to Our Lady of Perpetual Help. I said, "Oh, that sounds cool. Okay, what is Our Lady of Perpetual Help?" And she said, "Oh, it's a beautiful icon of Mary. You'll see it, when you come to the church this week." I said, "Oh, okay." Well, I didn't know what it was. I had never seen or heard of Our Lady of Perpetual Help. Now, this is around 1988. Oh my God, so we're like 32 years ago. Wow, where do the years go? So 1988. That's when I first met Our Lady of Perpetual Help. So the Tuesday comes. This was on a Sunday, and then by Tuesday got here, I said, "Oh, it's time to go to this novena." And at that point in my life, I was, having a very stressful time in my life. It's a long story, but I thought prayer certainly could help me. So I showed up at the church, and when I walked into the church, there was an icon. It looked almost the same as mine, this kind of large size icon. This one's 2 feet by 3 feet. Was sitting out in front of the church, propped up on an easel, and there were flowers, a stand or table of flowers in front of it. And I walked into the church, and I saw this icon. I said, "Oh," and I just zoomed in on her face, and I said, I felt like Mary was literally looking at me through the icon. I just had this instant rapport. And I looked it up and down. I studied her beautiful shape, and I studied Jesus. I studied the angels, and I thought, who is this? And I still didn't know who Our Lady of Perpetual Help was. So I asked another lady, I said, "Who is that picture?" And she said, "That's Our Lady of Perpetual Help." And I thought, oh, I am so glad that lady told me to come to this special event, because now I could see Our Lady of Perpetual Help. Well, anyways, it started in 1988. I guess you'd say I fell in love with Our Lady. And during that time in my life, I was going through a challenging time, and I just started praying to her. And whenever I would come into her presence of her icon, a sense of peace came over me. It didn't matter what was going on in my life, how bad it was. Our Lady of Perpetual Help brought me peace. And so I started going every week to the novena until I moved away from that church and moved away. And then I church where I was near didn't do it anymore, so I stopped doing it. But I still kept her icon in my home and still prayed to her. And so I've always loved Our Lady of Perpetual Help. And about 10 years ago, I bought this through a local art store. And I saw it. I said, I don't care what the price is. It wasn't cheap, I got to be honest. I had to have it. And so I bought it, had it professionally framed. And now I have Our Lady of Perpetual Help. So this is my giant icon I keep enshrined. And of course, there's my little icon that I showed you. So it doesn't matter whether your icon's big or small. They all, it's the same icons, Our Lady of Perpetual Help. So there you go. Now, if you want to work with Our Lady of Perpetual Help, it's traditional to offer blue candles to her, blue or red candles. Red because she wears a red robe, or blue because her blue is traditionally associated with Mary in the Catholic Church. Interestingly, in voodoo, I know we got some voodoo people out there, Our Lady of Perpetual Help is also prayed to in voodoo, and the colors red and blue, or candles, are used for her there as well. She's, in fact, is the patron saint of the country of Haiti, the Caribbean island nation of Haiti. Our Lady of Perpetual Help is the patroness, or matroness, I guess I should say, of the Isle of Haiti. So she represents the whole nation of Haiti. So people throughout Haiti pray to her. She's also very venerated and worshipped in the Philippines as well. There's a lot of devotees of Our Lady in the Philippines. And of course here in the United States. During the 1950s, Our Lady of Perpetual Help was very much kind of promoted. The Catholic Church in America at that time really had a big thing about her, and they used to give out thousands of icon images, and their churches dedicated with altars and shrines. So if you're looking for an image of her, you can find them online easily. Now, you don't have to spend a fortune like I did and buy a multi-$100 icon. You can buy a little one, even a little holy card. This little icon that I bought, I think I paid like $12 for it. I mean, it's not cheap, but it's still much more affordable than the big one, which cost me a few $100s. But it's just as beautiful. So Our Lady of Perpetual Help can be found in many shapes and sizes and forms. And if you want to work with her, I would suggest that you, offer blue candle for her. You can also light incense. I didn't set up incense today, but you can put incense here in front of her shrine. And all it's asked is that you pray to her. They actually make little booklets. Many people have what's called a Perpetual Novena. That means it never ends. Just so you know, a novena is traditionally 9 days of prayers. Novena is from Latin, from number 9. But when you talk about a perpetual novena, it means it doesn't stop at 9th day. It keeps going around the clock. So you can either do a 9-day novena to her or a perpetual. But they have little booklets you can buy on eBay or Amazon. Just look up Perpetual Help Novena. And you'll see little booklets that have Mary's picture on. And then they have prayers in it that you can do. Now, you don't have to do the standard Catholic prayers. You can just simply talk to her. And that's mostly what I do. Every day I sit and I pray and I talk to Our Lady of Perpetual Help, just like a conversation. And I tell you, I really know that she hears me. Now, some people say, oh, come on, Bob. You're talking to a picture and you think that Mary's hearing you. Actually, yes, because Our Lady herself said that this icon would be a kind of a tool to connect with her. And that's why she wanted it venerated. As I told you the story earlier, that the sailor stole it and hid it in his house. And Mary kind of scolded him, said, you can't keep this icon. It's meant for the whole world. And Mary has said that through this icon, she will work healings and miracles. In fact, there are countless miracles. I can't think of them all, but many people have been healed of cancer and paralysis and all sort of situations through praying before this icon. And it's believed, as I said, that even copies carry miraculous power. So my icons, even though they're not the original one that's in the church in Rome, are just, by the Catholic Church, they say they're just as good. So it's kind of cool because it's one of the few kind of treasures of the Catholic Church that everybody can personally have. So you can actually have a copy of the icon and it will be just as sacred and powerful as the original. That's pretty cool. So there's Our Lady of Perpetual Help. And I just want to encourage you guys, really consider working with her. You won't be disappointed. She helps me. And again, you don't have to be Catholic. I'm a Wiccan. But in Mary, as I've said, I see a sign of the ancient mother, the great goddess. She is the modern day mother of the goddess, the form of the goddess in the form of Mother Mary. So she'll help you. Just pray to her. And let Our Lady of Perpetual help you. Oh, you'll notice up here on her veil, there's the star, being star of the sea. And I think in the original, it looks like there's a diamond inset. I think this is like a photographic copy, but yeah, there's a diamond, a jewel inset. Over here is a little cross on her veil done in jewels that somebody donated. In the Eastern Church, what they do many times is people will donate jewels and they'll have them actually affixed to the icon. So like up here is like a diamond inset and Mary's star on her veil. And there's the crown that's jewel that was laid in gold leaf that was inlaid with jewels. As I said, in the modern day imagery, if you look this up, you'll see that the crowns for her and Jesus have been removed. In the actual icon in Rome, they've taken the crowns off now because they felt that it wasn't part of the original and it should go back to the original form. But either way, whether you have the crown on the icons or crowns on the icon or not, it's still a wonderful image, and it's no less powerful with or without the crowns, because Our Lady said that she will work through this image to hear people suffering, their sorrows, and to bring them literally perpetual help. So no matter what situation you're in, you can call on Our Lady of Perpetual Help. Well, Tubies, I've had such a great time hanging out with you today, and I hope that you've learned something new and enjoyed this. And I really encourage you, for those of you who want to work with Our Lady of Perpetual Help, as I said, she will receive your prayers no matter what your religion, no matter what your circumstance. So never feel that, you're not good enough or she won't accept you, because Our Lady of Perpetual Help accepts everybody, and that's why I love her. Well, listen, thanks for being here today. Please, if you've enjoyed this, help me out. Like this video, thumbs up, favorite it, share it with your friends, hit subscribe, be part of our channel. We'd love you to be here. And make sure to go over to my website, PsychicBob.com, the link's below, and register for my psychic development class. We're going to have that on Saturday on Zoom. It's from 12 p.m. Eastern till 2 p.m., 2-hour class. We'd love you to be there. Read more about that at my website and register over at PsychicBob.com. This week, we're going to study automatic writing, how to channel writings from the spirit world. So come and join us. We'll see you then. I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out. Blessed be.